thing. So then y comma x is a point on the graph of f inverse of x. So basically, f inverse just has flip-flop points, okay? So in these practice problems, it says if the ordered pair 2, -5 is on the graph of f, so since this is the graph of f, x, y is the same as 2, -5. What ordered pair must be on the graph of f inverse, okay? So because I'm looking for the graph of f inverse, I want to figure out what the point y comma x would be, right? We should know what y is. We should know what 2 is. Tanai, can you tell me what my new point should be?
Wait, what happened again? Wait, I'm sorry.
No worries. So f of x has the point 2, -5. The property is that if you have like an xy point on f, then you flip-flop it to get a point on f inverse. So this is asking for a point on f inverse.
So it would be -5, 2.
Perfect. Yep. All right, and then it says below is the graph of f. Fill in the graph for f inverse. So we're just going to flip-flop all these points. Can I have a volunteer to just do the whole table for me?
Oh, okay.
Go for it, Francesca.
3, 0, 4, 1, 7, 2, and 12, 3.
Perfect. All right, so do you guys have any questions on this? Okay, so the property is basically just flipping points. All right, so if there are no questions on that, does anybody need to copy it down?
Me.
Okay. All right, so you'll take your time, and then property 2, it's just going to be talking about the graph of f versus f inverse. And I like to use property 1 to show property 2. I think it makes it a little bit more direct. So we'll go through that next. Yeah, I guess that second practice example, it's super easy for me to write down because I have a pre-written table, but you guys have to write double the points and make a little chart. So. Okay. So property 2, I'll try to keep it so that that example is still in the picture. It says the graph of f inverse of x is the graph of f of x reflected across the line y equals x. Okay, so it's talking about the graph, and we're just taking the original f of x graph, we're reflecting it over the line y equals x. So we're still flipping all the points when we do it. Okay, this is just kind of like the visual representation of it. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this line y equals x. And this line corresponds to this dashed line on the graph right here. Okay, this is the line y equals x. Its y-intercept is 0, its slope is 1. Okay, so it says the graph to the right shows f of x on the same graph show or draw f inverse. So I like to do this by finding 2 or 3 points on the original graph and then flipping them to plot points for my inverse graph. That way I don't have, I'm not just guessing. I'm not like making an educated guess for how it would look. I'm actually figuring it out. So let's see, the point -1, -7 is on this graph. Okay, so I'm going to make a little chart. Okay, so I'm making a table of point values for f and f inverse. So I'm going to have x, f of x, and x, f inverse of x. So my first point is going to be -1, -7. Okay. I also have the point 4, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. This is the point 4, comma 3. And then my last one is 0, 5. Wait, 0, -5. I'm sorry. That's also on my graph. Okay, so I've picked about 3 points. You could pick more. You only need 2 to draw a line, so you only had to do 2 of these. And to get my inverse function, I just flip all these. So I should have -7, -1, 3, 4, -5, 0. And then I can plot all these points onto my grid. I'm going to start with -7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, -1. Then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then -5, 0. So these are 3 points on my inverse function. I'm just going to grab a straight edge. And I'm going to draw a line through those 3 points to get my inverse function. Fun fact, if your original crosses the line y equals x, your inverse will also cross the line y equals x at that same point. Okay, so they'll all 3 will share that 1 point. Okay, so I'll give you guys as much time as you need to finish that up, and then we can go back and do more of the practice from the front. I know that this one will probably take a while to copy down because I have a pre-made graph on mine, but you may not have a pre-made graph, which is totally fine, but it'll just take some extra time to write down. Let me see if I can get this. There we go. What questions do you guys have while you're working on this?
So wait, hold on. So the f of x, I mean the f with inverse is the one we just drew.
Yeah.
So what's the?
So this one is f inverse. This one was f. That one was the original. And then the pink one is this line y equals x.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I find it pretty challenging to just imagine flipping the function over. So that's why I like to do the points so that I know that I'm doing it right. And you can do that with any type of graph. It doesn't have to be linear. Okay, so if one of you guys, or if you would let me know when you're done, I think you're still copying, but I don't want to waste your time. So if you're done, then I'll go ahead and flip it. We can do practice. Tanaya, are you still copying?
Oh, I'm good.
Oh, you're good. Brandy, are you still copying?
I'm done now.
Okay, and Francesca?
I'm good.
Okay, sweet. So we'll flip it over. All right, so out of 1, 3, and 4, which one looks the most challenging?
The square root.
Yeah, number 3. All right, so let's do that together. So step 1, we'll start with Francesca. It says rewrite f of x as y. So what am I going to write for step 1?
Y equals the square root of 2x minus 1.
Perfect. All right, step 2, we swap x and y. Tanai, can you tell me what to write?
X equals square root of 2y
Yep,
minus 1.
perfect. All right, and then Brandy, what's my very first, do you have any ideas about what your very first step should be for solving for y?
Maybe get the y by itself, the 2y.
Yeah, but we got to get this like square root off of it, right?
Yeah.
What's the opposite of square rooting?
Square?
Yeah, squaring. So I'm going to square each side. I think that was you, Brandy. I don't know. Somebody else might have popped in. Okay, so I'm going to end up with x squared equals, now this square root and the square cancel. So I'm just left with 2y minus 1. Very good. Okay, and then Tanaya, what should I do next?
Then you should add 1.
Uh-huh. So x squared plus 1 equals 2y. And then Francesca, how do I get rid of that 2 in front of the y?
Divide.
Yeah, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. I'm going to have x squared plus 1 over 2. And then cancel them on that side. So I end up with y equals x squared plus 1 over 2. And then my very last step, Brandy, what am I going to do?
You would put f inverse of x, f1 inverse of x.
Yeah, no, you were right the first time, f inverse of
Okay.
x.
And then you put x squared plus 1 over 2.
Perfect. All right, so that is numbers 2 and 3. We have a good amount of time left, so we can do, actually, I kind of want you guys to try, well, no, I'll do number 4 with you guys. And I'll just run through it real quick. And then your work for today is to do, let me find them real quick so that we can, oops, okay, let me put this away, save. PowerPoint always takes forever to like open and close on my computer, I'm sorry. And you guys can finish watching that while, there we go, okay. So this was last class.
Oh my god, me.
Yeah. And today, on the 14th,